So we're coming up to the open on CL, quite near the bottom. We think might happen. There's a little UB floating around at 1791. Let's just have a look at the daily. Okay, so here on the daily chart, let's just understand what happened at the top overnight compared to the bottom overnight. We've got UB at the low of yesterday's session, but the UB is at the wrong end. And, we've gone up, we've come down. Cool. There's a big head and shoulders for the chartists out there. Let's see what might be going on. So at the top of the overnight, not a price rejector. Big selling though. Look at that negative delta at 32. So I think, if we're opening this close to the low, and given it's about 50% frequency that A period breaks the overnight low on CL, at the open, I'm kind of thinking maybe we get down to the low. It's not a price rejector at the bottom, 14 versus 42. So we could certainly look to get out at 29 as a minimum. We've got a volume range. You can see around 69 for 3 levels. It's kind of tailing off in the profile. We've got positive delta. 80 has got some decent size MBO orders there and there's big negative delta. We're quite orderly. Price rejection at the top of the pullback so far, but not in a rush to do anything. We'll just see what happens and how it opens. For those who wonder if I ever trade my own account, no, they're not on the call. Doing this in an evaluation that's just about to pass. So I'm only doing micros, but I will do this for real. And this has got enough headroom on it that I can play with on micro. I'll do this rather than sim. Hey, it is a sim, but okay, 10 seconds to go. Let's see what happens. I'm thinking short, but I'm open to anything. The reason thinking short is we're nearer the bottom. Yeah. Look at the liquidity there. Oh, look, this may even happen too quickly. If it gets up to about 56, 58, I'll start to pay attention. It's not a price rejector there yet. We could think about 55. It's formed a price rejector there. It hasn't formed a price rejector. 33 versus 40. So I don't want to rush in yet. We've got UB at the low. Little mini volume node forming, 52 upwards. Okay, heading down. I don't really want to join in yet. It's too early. With 7 contracts adrift off the top. We've got UB down there, and we could nibble in. So I'm going to place limit order at 55. If it just sticks its nose above there, I'd get out somewhere above 60. There we go, filled. It's not a price rejector. I'm absolutely going to hit flat if we get much above where we were. Okay. Oh, hello. Well, that was unexpected. Went 3 ticks my way, and then down we went. Where else might we be going? Look at that aggression it went up through there with. If I'm not mistaken, there was some MBO. There's some decent size, around 58. So those zeros, it just swept through all of those. We're kind of at the top of that range, but the top of this so far is looking unattractive. So these zero prints are interesting. Are we going to get back down there and fill them in? Or are we going to get down there, it holds and it goes higher? I'm still looking for a short. But given we haven't gone up high enough yet, I'm okay. I say it and it happens. Yes, I think it's not a price rejector, 6 versus 25. Those were stops though at the top. Get that in the pullback. Okay, it's going further with some aggression again, zeros. So what's going to happen around a big negative delta? Okay, now there's an almost price rejector. I'm happy to enter short on a stop now. We've got a price rejector. Let it take me in. I will protect this because it was so sweepy. Don't want to experience what I did last time. Okay. Got a tick. Woo! We still have an almost price rejector, kind of price rejector, 4 versus 4 at the top. Looks like can't read. We're in some no man's land at the moment if you look on the CPO. Now, I don't want to get in through a stop just yet on this. Now I'm interested more in getting in at market if we go down in some energy, but the bottom of the pullback is looking robust. Again, price rejector. Okay, now I'm happy to get in. Yeah, it left UB at the bottom of the pullback. That's 18 versus 1. I think we're going to be okay. We need to see what happens around the zero prints. If those fill in, we've got UB at the bottom of the day session at 42, and then potentially we're going to get back down to the low of overnight if we get there. Let's see. I'll hold this one rather than protect it. We'll try and let this one play out. I want it to go. I'm going to gauge what happens around the zero prints before I decide whether to throw a stop in to protect it. So look, it's nudging down there. I think we're okay. UB at the bottom of the pullback. So we're heading down. We're not low enough yet on the pullback. We need to see what happens through this area where we ate up. Let's just protect it in case it sweeps up. Where we ate up the 2 MBO orders. How does he remember all this detail? Don't know. Scary. So let's watch it. Let's see if it nibbles down into that area. Okay, got taken out. So the zero prints have held for the moment. The big negative delta is there at 62. We need to see if we can get down here again. But don't really want to get short here, 64-ish. We'd like to be about 4 or 5 ticks further up. Although this is an interesting little node up to about 67 in the pullback. So we can maybe lean on that with a positive delta. Let's try it. Nothing ventured, you know. So I'm wrong if we get back up to about 68. Potentially wrong, but I'm going to lean on this big delta still. Going to try adding one more. I still like the idea. And I will exit one at 60 on the UB on the pullback. If we get significantly above, say, 75, then yeah, for sure I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I will see. Teased it. Past couple of weeks, I've found oil has been more jumpy than previous times when I've really enjoyed trading it. It's not especially thinner, but the price action is much more steppy between levels is kind of how I'd express it. Okay, this may work. So I take one out ahead of those zero prints based on the UB on the pullback. We'll protect it. Okay, look, it's playing my average position price. We still haven't filled in the zero prints. It's interesting. Oh, no, we did. Sorry, there was one level. It traded into one level, I think. We have 3 zeros. Might scalp around this again. If I can get one more on here at 68. Because my overall structural read I'm quite happy with. Okay, we've filled in both those zero prints. It's not rushing to get down. Now, if we get down to the low, I am going to exit at, well, I'd like 29, because I think we've got to trade through 29 to create a price rejector at the bottom, 14 versus 42. But look at the largest orders of CL sitting here. That 20 at 32 moved down. It just nudge down a couple of ticks. So actually, I will set my exit at 30 so that I'm not competing with this 20 being filled. I'm going to protect this now. It's moved far enough away. If I get swept out of it, fine, I still won't lose. Okay, we can still try this idea again. I've still got the resting order there at 68. Not really rushing to chase this. If I get filled on 68, I'm quite happy. The delta's the wrong way around. The pullback's interesting. We can't though seem to get above this little secondary node. Okay, it filled me. Fine, I got filled at a decent price. It came to me. We'll protect this again. Look how quickly it shot away from that swell, from the big positive delta. Now, we've got to get through 62 with some conviction. Okay, that stop took a while to get filled. That was weird, wasn't it? So we've got this kind of distributions, this double distribution in the pullback. You see here from say 68 up to the high and then 68 down to where we've traded down to 52. The delta's the wrong way around in the pullback. Something needs to resolve. From here, I don't really want to rush to join in because it's been sticky at 62. I'll leave the exit here. We can always get a tick out of it, But, let's just see what's going on. It's too... Oh, look, pretty pattern, pretty downward pattern on our fast chart. Again, not rushing to take another entry yet. I'm liking this big positive delta around 73, but I'm mindful, that big negative delta at 71. We've got above it. Yeah, okay, let's try one more. I'm late. Yeah, that might have been pretty crappy. Let's see. My logic there was the big positive delta. We got back below the big negative delta. I'm about 2 to 3 ticks off where I'd ideally like to be. And yeah, that's the point about quality of entries. I'm not happy being 2, 3 ticks off. It's added risk. I'll eat it on this. I'm only trading micro anyway, but you really want to get in at the good levels, and this kind of jumpier action for entering at market makes it hard to do it with any accuracy or finesse, or I'm just too slow in my reactions. Maybe I should get gamepad. Hovering over flat in case I get it wrong. The big positive delta just jumped down 2, 3 ticks though. It's interesting. It's back up there. Top's going to go. Oh, okay. Let down by the platform there. That thing, that notification. Speed training, yeah. You mean you haven't snorted the pre-session line? Okay, we've got UB at the top now. So now what I want to see is, how high could it go? And this, okay, 13 ticks down. I'm fine with that because if I am going to catch a move to the low, yeah, I'm doing it from further away. I can make up those 13. This this big negative delta from overnight has been a bit of a barrier at the moment, but it's UB up at the top. So we've got UB at both ends. We haven't got anywhere contextual in either direction right now. So I'm going to sit on my hands until I can see it move to some arbitrary horizontal line and give me some pattern in the traded volume that I'm happy with. I don't know how you're doing, JVC, but I'd be interested to know on your CL this morning if what you've done if you traded it short and just like now you're done. But only if you're free. I'm interested to get another trader's view who looks at the same thing. So the price rejection at the bottom of the pullback, but from the middle, he could be super aggressive and start trying to scalp up. I don't really want to do that.
Sorry, I'm sitting here talking away and didn't realize I was muted at Zoom. So as I was saying, I traded short. I got swept out of my first short, caught a bit of another one, gave back a bit, caught a bit back. It's been up and down. I'm down overall right now, but I'm in the same boat as you. It sounds like I've got you very low volume in my ear, but I heard you say something about it's messy and unclear and sit on hands right now. And that's exactly where I'm at.
So you're trying the same thing, short, and it was,
Yeah, I tried a short, and then I actually tried a long, and then that didn't want to play out either. It sort of did. It gave me a little tiny bit, but nothing much. So yeah, it's just been a giant question mark at the moment.
When the market gives you lemons,
give them back.
Something like that. Throw them at people.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's certainly sit on the hands for now. What time is it? It's 1:15. We might switch to equities, we might not. It's too early to look. Let's say focus on CL, even if there's not much to say right now. Okay, so we're heading a bit higher. That's good. Yeah, because I'm looking for signs to tell me we've gone high enough. Only structural thing at the moment is the midpoint from overnight, 31, which seems like a way away. Okay, 72 even is big negative delta as well. And it's TPO value area boundary. So that's what we need to keep an eye on. 72, there's some MBO stuff floating around there. Then the midpoint at 31. Not especially inclined to try and trade it inside out low to potentially 72. It's just too messy right now. And continuing the previous thought, what we're looking for is the break of the overnight ledge. So you can, when you're looking for these frequently occurring, so it's about 50% of the time a period will break the overnight ledge on CL. when you're looking for these frequently occurring things, it's not to say you can't trade the preamble to it, so the move before we turn around. But it is very easy to get drawn in if you start doing that and suddenly you start trading everything you see. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to sit on my hands, going to look, really strict for how high is too high potentially, and what could be happening around what seems to be the logical inflection points around 72 and 31. So we have a price rejector here at 88. It's midpoint of something prior, a couple of sessions ago. But okay, even before yesterday's day session, it's somewhere before. So it's sort of vaguely contextual, but it's not that fresh. Let's see, that 87 is something. That's probably volume value area low from yesterday's day session. Yeah, plausible. But, really, I want to try and look at inflection points, which are really quite current. Okay, so we're back into this second look. This looks like one of the patterns that Peter Davis Jigsaw sometimes shows. So there's a little rugby ball at the top and a bigger one in the middle. Let's try this Peter Davis style based on, he shows it where you've got like a big shape in the middle and then it makes a little volume node up at the top and then it comes back into the range. So let's try that. Right, we'll try one more and we'll scalp out of it just at the bottom of the pullback because we've got UB at the bottom. That may be let down now by Peter's rugby balls. Let's see. I forget what he calls this. Yeah. No. So I was drawn to this by this value area boundary from yesterday's day session, and it's questionable. It's an inflection point. I may have been a bit greedy here. If we start trading actually around 85, I will hit flat. My MBO filter is something like 17, Jeff. Yeah. Yeah, get out. That's flipping thing. I'm using Trade Replicator in Sierra and it puts confirmations on everything. And I have a feeling it could be, is it reversing positions as well?
Oh, that would be bad.
Oh, it's done that to me a few times, but we seem to be okay. If only someone wrote a spreadsheet at it.
Working on it.
Yeah. No, this is an unpleasurable CL open, isn't it?
Indeed.
So what was it being discussed in the pit? It should be fun. Not exciting, but fun. This is, it's not fun, but it's not great fun. That's better than other things, but
yeah. Better than a lot of things, not as good as it could be.
Yeah. On this
I'm
idea,
annoyed.
Trading, emotion. Yeah, trading on the inflection points. Something I've been playing with is a simple chart here. This is for ES, where it's a bit messy. It gets messier over time, but I've put every potential inflection point on here, and it's kind of sit on hands chart that you should only ever trade when you're only ever think about trading when you're near a grey line. And I'm starting to play with things like what could alert conditions look like. For basically saying you're not doing a thing and you can only look at it now when you're within, say, 6 ticks of a line. So I've been playing with that as a sit on handometer.
Sit on handometer.
Yeah.
Boy, it swept up so hard, left UB, and then just came right back down.
Yeah, it's doing nothing right now. It's messy, isn't it?
Yep. I got short, a few ticks off that high, and then it blew to it, got out, and then came right back.
And what I realize I'm doing wrong on this, the flatten functionality is what's been slowing me down. Normally, when I'm using the replicator on Sierra, I enter at market in the opposite direction to avoid confirmations.
You mentioned that.
But my head's not in the game, so I've been trading different accounts in different ways over the past whenever. But we'll live. Yeah, dull one this morning. We'll keep watching it. Who knows what might happen? Hey, this could turn into B2A. What we'll do,
it's looking that way.
We're in the middle. Let's take a quick look at the equities so we can take a view. Do we stay on CL for the next 30 minutes or will we look at ES? Okay, so ES is tempting us in the same way. Oh, this looks much nicer, doesn't it? So, okay, it's a price rejector at the bottom from overnight. The pullback has a price rejector at the top. There's big positive delta at 85. What's the other end of overnight like? Ooh, UB at the top. We had a two-sided day yesterday on ES, which surprised me a little bit. I thought we were going to go lower because I got caught by the not price rejector, 248 versus 292. And actually, we ended up going up. I thought we might go down. You remember I was talking about that 38 level. It'll take a few another 2-3 minutes, but I think if CL is going to be in a mess with UB at both ends, we may do ES. Yes, I must remove bias. Yeah, in my mind, I think ES is going to go down, but if we get above the overnight open 97.25, there is a UB at the top. Inflation data at the end of the week, though, so we'll see. We'll
UB at the top of ES
of overnight.
Oh,
wrong end.
I don't see that in ES. I have 0 by 1 at the top.
What, 47.06?
Whoops, I just reloaded my chart. Hold on. I'll tell you what it's at. Actually, I'll tell you on the other one. Whoops, what did I just do? No, not what I meant to do. At 46.99 quarter. The hell?
That's weird.
Scroll wait a minute.
Right.
Different contract? Hold on. Mine has rolled.
Okay, that's interesting. Date rule, Thursday.
Yeah, I think it's set on auto roll.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the volume.
I thought I had it set to roll on volume, though. That's weird. Yeah, volume-based rollover. Or is that, I thought that was for roll, or is that only for the backfill?
No, it will be for the roll. Let's just look at the quote board and let's just see how the volume's doing. Yeah, and of course, rollover's going to be nasty. Hang on, my quote board is H2. Am I doing something stupid?
Uh-oh.
Plausible. Yes, one CME. Yeah, the volume hasn't switched yet.
Weird. I wonder why mine rolled.
Because there could have been some point since the overnight open where the volume was in favor of the next month.
Oh, just for a moment or something?
Oh, sorry, I'm being stupid. I was looking at 30-year. No, look, 221 versus 79. But there could have been a point, even first minute of trading.
Really?
Yeah, potentially.
And that'll roll it, even if it doesn't hold, it doesn't roll back or anything.
It's a volume rule.
It's just a one-time occurrence, and bam, that's it. It counts.
It will roll when the volume in the next month goes higher. So
Oh, just total cumulative volume.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, as opposed to what other volume?
I thought you were talking about volume in the moment or something. Like there's a momentary spike.
No. It's the, but there can be a point where the next month was higher than the front month cumulatively.
So even if it switches back again,
it won't go back because
Yeah.
It is rolling when the volume in the next month goes higher.
Right.
So that's why I'd like to monitor it, but I'll do it manually.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I think let's just have one extra look at CL. Oh, CL is doing nothing. Decisions. I think we'll do ES. We've got this contested level that's nice. We've got a price rejection at the top of the pullback. The range is clear, just like CL was. Okay, it's price rejection at the low, not a price rejection at yesterday's low. I think we'll watch ES.
I still don't have UB at the overnight high on the Z contract. I've got 0 by 1 at 97.
Has it
or 96 3/4?
Has it back adjusted because your prices are off?
It is set to back adjust volume based. Yeah, volume based back adjusted continuous contract.
So are you still on? Is your chart showing the December contract now?
Yep.
So I need to reload it because I did. The high is 06.
Yeah, I did. Twice.
I try a new chart. Okay,
weird.
So opens that contested levels in case stops there. Let's do one aggressively at market. I'm going to protect it. I'll put a stop in 86.5. This is real, contested level. There's energy there. I'm wrong. I need to kill that. There we go. So there, I got out of that the other way around. Oh, I'm not on form today. So be it. Okay, so now we'll wait because it gave us a price rejection at the bottom just as it went down there. What's everyone else doing? RTY's heading down. NQ went up, heading down, but there's nothing at the top of this that's decent. Okay, YM's heading towards its low. RTY is about to break the overnight low. But I don't see how we can join in on ES yet. Okay, good. They've retreated. So now I'm looking around at 87.5, this midpoint from yesterday. 91 3/4 overnight midpoint. Where's NQ going? It's going back into a range that's up there. Gosh, this is moving, isn't it? I'm interested in the effect on CL. Has it got it up to 72 yet? No. Huh. So it's not a price trajectory at the top. Look, RTY is surely going to break the low. YM's going to break the low. NQ has crunched NQ, has given us a price trajectory at the top, but I don't like the top of ES. So we need to wait. RTY is about to go. There we go. YM, it's why I'm going to follow. Oh, RTY is still going. YM hasn't got the overnight low yet. Maybe we can get a price check now. 86 3/4. We need some volume there. Of course, with rollover, numbers can be off.
Yeah, something is horribly wrong on my side. but only with ES for some reason. I don't get it.
Maybe delete and download data.
Yeah, something's really wrong. So I'm just not touching anything.
And that's a very good reason to not trade until you
Yeah.
fix it. So look how YM hasn't quite got to the low. Yeah, RTY has come back. NQ is still playing around at the top. I want to wait until I see a really good sign of turning around on ES. I'm still intrigued by CL. CL's gone nowhere, but it's 72 that's going to be the interesting area. No price rejected yet. NQ pushing up. Overnight open 80.5. Okay, it's gone through that. With UB, ES hasn't gone far enough yet. Look at YM is itching to go down. Not a price rejector yet. Oh, YM is very tempting anywhere above 90. It's shorter. Okay, it's playing with us. Oh, it's a Peter Davis pattern where we go big rugby ball, little rugby ball. We tried that earlier. Didn't work that well. Okay, a couple of ticks below previous open. That must have been yesterday, I think. Okay, now we've got a price rejector. No. So this midpoint is surely going to be in play. Overnight midpoint, 91.75. Okay, now that's all LGBT. Yeah, what's the next thing it could be looking for? It still wants to go higher. It's some reasonable absorption off the top, but that's kind of nothing. Well, it's in no man's land. Let's look at CL again. Look at that. CL got to 99. I want to trade CL. Yeah, we got within the tick of big fat round number and value area boundary, which would have been our B to A. Yeah. I think CL is more interesting now. So B to A occurred. Yeah, slow, super slow. Probably too slow to join in. No, I'll try it. So now I think we can get back to the overnight low on CL. B to A happens, got to a logical point, we spotted 72, one tick below it. That was also round number. Sorry, value area boundary. I'm going to try the CL run down to about 30. Is what gets my attention. And sorry to switch between the contracts, but I was watching ES in a kind of unexcited way, thinking everything's going up. Yeah, what's the effect on CL? And then CL was making some sense in terms of where it had got to. So we'll focus on this and see if we get the overnight ledge break. This crappy entry. I was really late. Okay, it's gone back to the midpoint of the session. Now, I'm wrong I'm wrong at 87. I think that's how bad an entry it is. I'm 12 ticks off, what I'm really wrong. It's an interesting zero print. There's the big positive delta at 79. But because I haven't done brilliantly this morning, I'm not going to do this any more size. We'll just try this on one lot, see where we get to. So B period's pulled back to one tick above the midpoint. It's left UB, but I might be wrong. The big positive delta dropped down a couple of ticks, I think. I think it was up at 82 and it dropped down to 78, 79. I might be wrong on that. But my business case is, price rejector, one tick off round number, arbitrary horizontal line.
Where are you short?
Oh, crappy, 75. I want to be short around 92.
Right.
But I'm not going to add more to it. That's not my edge. Scaling in doesn't give me an edge. I know it does some people, not me. Now, remember, every inside-out trade also has potential outside-in trade, and that sounds pretty obvious, I guess. But once a range has broken from inside out, we can be thinking about the other way. So my thought process here was B to A happened while we weren't there, and it happened and ended with quite a nice sign saying that was enough. And we haven't yet broken the other range, which we know about, which is overnight. And I think the stats are favorable. I think A and B period combined is certainly a decent majority of the ledge break timings on both ES and CL. So if it didn't happen in A, which is about 50% of the time, then B period, I think, is another 20, 25% of the time. So, thinking in bets, probability, yada, yada, yada. Okay, how could you look at this? If it hasn't happened in A, then it must be really very likely to happen in B. Because if overall 50% do break in A, but you're not one of those instances, and then the next biggest number is B, then, how to explain it? Your odds must be getting even heavier because you're in a smaller set. I'm explaining this really badly. But
probability increases as each period goes on that it hasn't happened to me, as long as the behavior hasn't changed to say, it's not happening.
Yeah, the set size is small, the sample size is less, but is it cumulative probability? Is it Bayes? I'm not sure, but whatever, you get what I mean.
This is looking tasty.
Yeah.
I got really lucky and caught it just before the original drop. My entry was at 85.
Okay, yeah, good level.
Actually,
just
86.
At the top of the range.
Yeah, right below the the delta and the pullback.
Yeah.
It tagged me and then collapsed.
If I wasn't underwater, I'd add to this. But as I am, I won't. No, we'll protect it just because. Yeah, let's not turn something like this into a loser. We've got to break through this negative delta. If that goes, I think we'll be on a nice journey. Okay, it's gone. Not a price rejector. Thank you, Robert. So with a crappy entry like this, I can easily end up being stopped out. I'm going to try and hold it. I can always re-enter if we go back up. I still like the idea. I'm looking at the pullback from bottom of B period as well to take a view. So if it went to 73, I'd hit flatten, but my stop's at 74 anyway. So yeah, I'd still leave it. We'll try and hold it. Filled.
Not looking
Fine.
good.
So now I'm watching top of the pullback. Okay, big positive delta there. Let's lean on one of these. Oh, I clicked in a bad place, but I'm going to try and play the pullback now to continue the idea. And too late. I'm going to try one more and we'll play. Maybe want you out of the way. Yeah, I want you out of the way. Okay, second bite of the cherry idea. Protected again, can always get in it. Wow, these rhythmic notifications are very slow.
There we go.
Yeah. Just as I was about to say, it's not rushing to get down through there. Well, that big delta, negative delta at 62 has held it so far, but it's feeling heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You still short JVC?
I am. It got 2 ticks away from my protective stop and then came back down. So I'm short in both my cash and my funded.
Oh, look at you. So it's these 3 levels, 60 up to 62. We've really got to get down through that. To get down through that, we should be good. UB on the pullback. Come on, let's just pull the plug.
Exactly. Flush it down the drain.
Yeah.
I got such a good entry in my funded on my first one. I just added. There we go. I added a second one on the way down. Now it's feeling like we're on our way.
So what's the excess? 89 up to 99. That would be 10. 42. So we get below 52. We should be in good shape. This MBO 50 at 50.
Boom. Here we go.
And it traded 105 hit the bid. Sorry, 75 hit the bid. Seeing on the pullback. Okay, now we're good.
All right, I got
it. This UB should break. Then what's that UB? 91. Ooh, that would be nice. But
I was in 2 in each, and I'm out 1 now.
Very good.
Boy, really had exactly the right tick too. Jeez.
So that zero print's interesting at 59. It's quite ponderous, isn't it?
Nice little sweep down there.
Yesterday. CK. Good question, CK. Do we have a video of unfinished business on pullback in the library? Not as such, but it's unfinished business. The pullback doesn't matter. Pullback's just another rotation. Yeah, it's what has traded, in this case, since the high coming down to the low. So if you watch the video throwing and catching a falling knife, then you'll see me reading the pullback. And I'm just going, is it unfinished business? Is it not? Blah, 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 blah. But there's no great magic to it. Get a good understanding of unfinished business with the unfinished business clinic. Then watch the throwing and catching a falling knife. Repeat this 27 times, and you'll be on the way. Good way to kill time on a long flight, CK.
If only you could download the videos.
Oh, with his loyalty rewards, he's probably got unlimited in-flight Wi-Fi, or a really long cable dragging behind the plane. You can in JetBlue. JetBlue have just launched transatlantic flight using an Airbus 321 long range. It looks really interesting. But narrow body twin engine across the Atlantic is still a bit.
No, I'm out.
Yeah. So that zero print got dealt with.
Got me back to scratch in my funded and up a few bucks in my cash. So.
How are we doing? Gosh, we've gone nearly an hour. We've got 10 minutes now until we'll look at ES again. And hopefully we can catch this before the top of the hour. Much above here, I'll flatten, but I want to try and hold this. I think the idea is good. If we trade into this area around 67, I will probably flatten. This is like one of those scenes in Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul where he does the time lapse of the sky, and we're just watching time pass through the night sky over 10 hours, happening really slowly.
As long as Mike doesn't show up, it's all good. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe you are Mike. Uh-oh.
Not that old, JVC.
I was thinking that bald, but, you know.
Proper tough guy. Okay, here we go.
There it goes.
Come along. So my read was quite nice. The entry was terrible. Happens. Zero print there, 45, which was where the aggression started to push us through. I'm not going to front run it, even though the idea is good. We'll just trade this really gently and conservatively today. Price rejector there, it's interesting. Zero print's been dealt with. This should go.
You're looking for the price rejector to break?
Yeah. If we get much above the negative delta at 46, then I'll fasten it, just take some money. But, you know, we've come this far, you know, I feel like I should finish the workout.
Here it goes.
It broke a price rejector. It's reformed it. I think we're going to be okay. So now if we get above the pullback, then the pullback top 70, 40, hello. Random number generator, Lee, 48, 7, 9, 400. Does this help?
42.
Yeah, then we'll guess out. Imagine running a trade room where you just throw out random numbers.
Every day you generate three random levels based on the last session's price action, and you say, here's your pivots.
Yeah. Or you could draw a grid in your cat's litter tray.
Give them little rakes, let them do Zen garden.
No, wherever you find a cat poop is the level.
Oh, okay. Why do I feel like you've done this before?
Well, there are raffles in the UK. I'm sure it's a global thing where a field will be divided into 1 meter squares.
What?
And wherever the cow takes a dump is the winning ticket.
I don't think this is a global thing.
Maybe it's a farming thing.
That I would believe, yes. And here, all I thought you guys did over in the UK was rave in your fields.
Okay, question from Jeff. What's my setting for the pullback traded volume column next to the dome? You see it resets. It's nice. This is a tool which I'll be publishing real soon now, Jeff. Cowpie bingo, there you go. So it is turning the current column into a auto-resetting column based on various criteria. There are some really smart criteria. I've got this set up to be pullback of the pullback. So I'm seeing down, up, and down again. The lack of zeros makes it a bit hard to read, but it can be set to do other things like time, make this a 1 minute footprint, proximity to levels. So I've got this coming in the next emoji release, which is scheduled for Q4 2029, I think. Hopefully sooner than that, should be.
2028.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, it's almost, if we had got above 48, I would get out. It's taking its time. I think this should go now. Come on.
All that positive delta in the pullback bar. Apologies. There we go. UB.
Come on.
Let's do it already. There it is.
A little bit more.
Yep.
Come on. Oh dear, look at that.
All right, I'm out on 1. I was in 2.
There we go. Finally.
And I'm out on the other. Okay. Yay. Green on the day. Woohoo.
Good. So we pretty much have had the, what's the phrase? The overnight break.
Yeah, that qualifies as far as I'm concerned.
I think
totally.
So let's go back to ES and see what's happening potentially on B2A. So what happened on ES? I think we were there, 94. It's a nice price trajectory at the low. Check something. I've got our trades open. Another machine. Yeah, that's working. So this can be interesting. The bottom of A is really well defined as a price rejector. Andrew saying trailing drawdown. Do I protect it? Yeah, very much so, Andrew. Yeah, this combine's in a good state and it's micros, so that's $13 down on here. Yeah, but when I'm trading a combine evaluation to pass it or to withdraw from it, I am brutal around trailing drawdown. I'll just be hoovering up $50, $100 within the structure. I always want to exit everything at P&L high. So I here today, and this one's got such a big buffer on it. I'm comfortable trading it, and it's micros. But when I'm trading an evaluation in hacking mode, I don't want to give the evaluator any drawdown back because it's the most brutal rule. This area here, 86-ish, if B's going to break the low, this is quite nice with the positive delta, the tail off in the volume, the price rejector. But let's wait and see what B period brings us. Because what is happening with everything else? YM is near its high. Tight range on YM. Okay, RTY's got UB at the low. YM stops at the top, UB at the low, NQ. This NQ's on 2-tick crunch, also UB at the low. So I think there's potentially a nice B2A short on ES. But, yeah, I'm tempted to guess in around here, but let's not rush it. And look, we pulled back to within a tick of the midpoint, 87.75. So yeah, let's join in. We got a price rejector. A bit aggressive. The excess is still at the bottom though on the TPO. So it's a little bit aggressive. I think we're going to be okay. And we might get the overnight as well. A period didn't break the overnight. I've got to get through this delta from the contested level overnight, and that's a slight concern. What's everything else up to? NQ is this a bit like yesterday where some of the others were pulling us up. So I'm going to protect this just in case. I think we're going to be good. Nope. Okay, so we might get another bite of the cherry on the idea. And this whole area here is okay for it. Top of B period isn't great. You're looking for price rejector now, something like that. I'm just seeing what the others are up to. YM's broken its high. That price rejector off the pullback's decent. Not now, it's not. And of course, rollover is not helping us as volume's shifting around. It's never going to be that clean. Jeff, one tick. Yeah, so take one tick a day, even in a micro. In, out, done. Win a tick, lose a tick, just burn the days.
Yeah, as long as there's no consistency rule, then
yeah,
totally.
Your job is to walk out of the casino with money. Yes, it's the excess change, 83.25, 81.5. There's still more excess to the top. This is messy as well, isn't it? We'll allow this to play out for the full half an hour. We'll see what goes on. Okay, so we're going back up into this upper distribution. So Overnight midpoint is 91.75. We've already been there once. And you would think, based on overnight, that we're more likely to break the low than the high, based on where we are. But I don't know. If B breaks A to the top, it's not going to take too much to get back up to the top. And there's the UB. But we want to see ourselves get above 97.25 and know that the whole rotation on the whole trading day is then up to feel more confident about that. Okay, so B's going to break the top of A now. Look how close we are. Yep, the excess is at the bottom now rather than the top. Question is how to join in. So we've got 83.25 down to 81. So 11 ticks of excess. There's less there, 91.75 up to 94. I mean, it's close. It's quite balanced. I got to the overnight midpoint again. Yeah. That's 9 ticks. Only 2 6 excess difference, but hard to join it. I mean, 89.75 isn't bad on the negative delta. Let's do it. So slow and late. I mean, we haven't traded down to 89.5, which I'd like to be. 90.25 isn't bad to lean on. Going to try one more, and I'm going to exit it at 93.5, just ahead of A period. If we get up there, the other one, we'll see if we can make it all the way to the UB. Of course, we've got to get, it's profitable first. Very wrong if we get below about 88.25 at the bottom of this range. So that's a little early and aggressive on that. So the RTY is leading us up towards the highs, where there's UB. I think the direction's okay. Again, it was an early aggressive entry, greedy entry, monkey entry. I think it's going to be RTY that will get us there. YM's trying now to get above its highs. Need to watch this midpoint, 683. So got to be mindful if we break out of this volume area and go back into the other distribution, and we'll hit flat and keep our powder dry-ish, what's left of it. RTY is it? So it's NQ that was holding us back for a bit. NQ's playing around the open, but look at RTY and YM still heading up. I think we're going to be okay. It's NQ I'm just mindful of. So this is partly compounded by a really bad entry. Yeah, no, forget that. Oh, I went the wrong way by mistake. I fat fingered on my trade the other way, but it might work in our favor, and we'll get the Might not know. Hang on. No, fine. So it teased us into that distribution. It's NQ that's being troublesome here. I mean, look at RTY and YM still pushing. I think it's still going to go to the top. The price rejector at the bottom of B is still holding. YM is about to break the ledge, but it's midpoint of overnight just above it, which we need to be careful of here at 83. So it depends how YM trades around this. If it goes there and turns around, that could, because look where NQ is relative to the lows as well. Yeah, so NQ could be breaking session low. YM will pop up and maybe turn around. So we're not brilliantly correlated yet. I'm watching YM for clues and see what NQ does towards the lows. Thinking more potentially downside. So let's watch this run up on YM and see what it does on ES. And it's whether YM takes off or whether it stalls. The edge, okay, big fat round number there as well. Edge of the volume, it hasn't quite got there. Also watching the top of the pullback and this volume area on NQ. And if YM and RCY really start to drop, then yeah, it's time to play short, but really want to see YM do something around the ledge to get an idea. NQ's having another try, push down at 25 held. Okay, YM's just on the ledge. Needs to look at that midpoint at 83. And really 83 up's the round number. So like that was stops. Yeah, hasn't turned around. That's just stops being triggered. Zeros. So want to see what happens around 83%. Okay, NQ's broken the low. Leaving UB. YM is looks like it's going to, okay, it's traded to the midpoint. NQ's having another run at the low. Okay, YM is now going beyond the midpoint. We need to think about the round number. NQ has UB at the low, a bit sucky. CYM is really having a push. It's got to 90 with stops, so I think it's going to continue up. RTY is now heading back to the open. Will the open hold on RTY? It's very similar to yesterday, how they are fighting each other. Okay, NQ's turning, tried to turn positive. Hard to call. 29.5. Negative delta on the pullback and NQ, just watching that, see how it behaves. Tricky. YM is giving the highs another push, but we need to be mindful of zeros. More excess at the top than the bottom by 1 tick on ES. That could be a clue. The NQ is heading towards the lows again. Sweep down there in YM, look at that, that's 5 levels, stops. Okay, trying it short just as NQ is heading towards the ledge. We still have more excess at the top than the bottom. NQ is getting very close to the overnight low. I think YM might have a little pop up, but I'm liking the idea of this breaking short. And I'm mindful of yesterday's not price rejector low, which, where was that? Yeah, that was 72 and a quarter. It's in my head. Okay, so look, YM is still trying to get to the round number. I'm wrong for sure. If we get to 92 and a quarter, then the excess will have changed on the profile. But NQ is so close to its overnight low, I think we're going to get pressure going down. So I'm actually happy to try to add to this more where there's positive delta in the pullback. The NQ is heading down again. MBO there at 76. It's funny, isn't it, that CL got a quick B to A and then B period's what broke overnight. ES kind of similar. A period hasn't broken overnight. We're now to B period. Maybe it'll be B period that does it. This is so similar to yesterday, where I think it was RTY that was for a long time just oscillating around its open. YM was in a very tight range. Okay, let's watch YM for this pop, potentially up to 0, then need to decide what's going on. See Y is on the way down, then Q is still flirting with it. So it could be one of the days, I forget the exact percentages, where B doesn't break A. Or yesterday we had it that B broke A pretty much at the last moment in B period, as I remember, and then we got our initial balance break really quickly. Could be similar today. Yeah, I'm not loving this so much now. But I think it could still just be YM going for a pop and then coming down. So I'm going to hang on to the idea because of YM. Okay, NQ looks like it's heading back down. YM has come off the highs. Okay, now I think we're underway. I'd like to see this price rejects go at the bottom of B. It looks like it's about to. Yep. Here we go. So NQ is going towards the overnight low. Bottom of B should go. So within a tick, 2 ticks. Yeah, NQ's on its way down. RTY is going down. RTY should take out the overnight low now. So I'm saying A not broken during B is 13 point something percent. Okay. And there's the other side. Yeah. Okay, RTY is on the overnight, so that's yesterday's low. YM is still holding out up there, though. So similar to yesterday, where we got a late break of A during the end of B period, and then the initial balance broke pretty much immediately, and we had that drive down. So we'll see if this plays out similarly today, then we'll just watch the drive for a few minutes if that happens. It's interesting. So there's a week low overnight, 77.5. So that needs to resolve itself. Week low on TPO, that double print thing. Sorry, poor low. There, yeah. Should have spotted that pre-market. So now I think I'm going to try and get out of this around 72.25. I'll get out ahead of that. So 73 I'm happy with. Okay, so we're on our way down. So I'm now scaling in because I'm in profit, just playing on the existence of the UB. Each time we pull back, if I can get another one on, then I can add to the position, even scalp out ahead of the UB. So for example, here, take one off, but too late. Okay, I'm now short 3. I wanted to be short 2, but it's okay. We'll get to where I'm thinking of going. Take one off there. And here goes the overnight. Okay, it traded to me and I didn't get filled, so Rhythmic's been slow. That's weird. Just see what happens. There's pending modify just sitting there. That's not good. I need to wait for that to do something. Okay, finally got there. And let's watch what happens. The overnight low goes. Isn't YM interesting? It hasn't really gone down much. It's still playing around there. So C period, we have broken the initial balance low by 1 tick. Interesting. A sort of price rejector, but 55 lots, a bit too high to be the end of the selling. Got this interesting little run of single prints here in the TPO, so that could likely fill in. And then I think we head further down. So it could be interesting. There we go. It's left a whole 1 print, 81 the quarter. Now we've got a price rejection at the top of the pullback as well. You see this so much on TPOs. RTY is trying for yesterday's low. Okay, I'm going to get out of this now. Cancel everything. Cool. So we've been going for 90 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up there. The interesting stuff now to watch out for is only 1 tick so far, break the initial balance. But okay, it's going to go now. We have got a poor low overnight that needs to resolve itself. We're so close it should. And it wasn't a price rejector at the base of yesterday. And there is a 0 print lurking around at 38. If you're that way inclined, it's way down here. There we go, a 0 print lurking around at 38, 38 and a half, something like that, 38. Which could be interesting as well if we start to go down. That could be an interesting stopping point. I was watching that yesterday. So I'm going to call it a wrap there. We're going for 90 minutes. That's it. It's Jeff for 90 minutes tomorrow. And I will catch you all in the pit between now and then. Stay frosty.